Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and language, specifically the three options that will replace the word race. And those three words are heritage, lineage, or ancestry. All right, so it's like if they laid odds on this in Las Vegas, and I was a betting person, which I am not, I would put money down on this one, right? Actually, I'm not suggesting anybody do that, but I think the odds are very, very, very high that in 6th edition, the word race will be utterly stripped from Dungeons & Dragons. Virtually every single well-designed, well-crafted tabletop role-playing game is doing this now. It's a very, very problematic word, and it's gotten a lot of games and a lot of problems. It's definitely like a ticking time device in the middle of Dungeons & Dragons. It's definitely gone in 6e, right? So what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about heritage, lineage, ancestry, and which one is the best pick to replace the word race, right? And by the way, I support this. I think the word race should be pulled from Dungeons & Dragons. All right, let's talk about ancestry. By the way, all these words are great. I think they all work really well. Ancestry has a nice ring to it, it's saying your ancestors. I love the idea of ghosts and your ancestors speaking to you from history, both from a literal sense of the ghosts whispering down the line to you. I also like the idea of memory in your bones. All that kind of speaks from that word of ancestry. But the reason why I mentioned it first is it is my last pick. I think ancestry still has a tone of biological to it and has some problems still attached to it. Okay, so let's talk about lineage of the line. Right now, this comes from bloodline. Right. And that, what's your bloodline? Who's your blood? And then you'd start talking about nobility, blue bloods. What is your, are you of noble blood? That kind of thing. So, your lineage, your line, she comes from the line of, okay? And again, I think that this is not an ideal world. It is not perfect. It does have some of the benefits of ancestry, but it's still that this person begat that person begat that person begat that person. It's very biblical, right? Let's talk about heritage. I love this word. Heritage is great. It's saying, what is your history? What is your heritage? What is the thing that is most important of your family background, right? But when we say family, it's not necessarily blood. It's not necessarily blood. It's not necessarily ancestors, right? Heritage. I just watched The Mandalorian. Really great show. Amazing show, right? And there you have, they had a heritage. They had a heritage of being great warriors, but they weren't blood. They weren't of the same line, but they still had the same heritage. And I think the word heritage breaks off from the bloodline. It breaks off from the ancestral begats. It breaks off from the birth, that birth sequencing, and gives a little more freedom for these type of characters. And this goes to intersectionality. And for some people, the familial base, that's problematic. Now, I'm an evangelical Christian. I love the familial base. I love bloodlines, and I love ancestry, and all those kind of things. But the reality is, Dungeons and Dragons isn't about my religion. It's a much broader game, and it should be for everyone. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Dungeons and Dragons wanting to make the game broad and available to lots of people, and I like the idea of them not wanting to offend people, right? And so if one word can make this game more inclusive and can welcome groups into the community that haven't been welcomed previously, J. Scott Garibay, the evangelical Christian, and J. Scott Garibay, the human being, is down with both of those. I'm fully okay with that. So when it comes, so one, I'm predicting now, absolutely, the word race will be stripped out of Dungeons and Dragons 6th edition. Two, when it comes to, I think the short list is without a doubt going to be Ancestry, Lineage, or Heritage. Most of the tabletop role-playing games that are switching this word are doing this right now. They're using one of these three words, and in my opinion, Heritage is the best of them. All that is my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful, wonderful millennium.